Okay, so before I start, just a small update, guys. So this will be the last demo. So if anybody wants to register so that the link will be changing from next session. Just an update on that part.
When will be next session, Lohansh?
It's on Monday.
Okay, Monday.
Yeah. So I think all the classes will be from Monday till Friday. So Saturday, Sunday will not have any classes.
Okay.
Okay.
I have some requirement. Actually, in my I'm working software automation testing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay, yeah. In my project, I have rest treasure.
Okay.
Next couple of weeks, there will be some initiate. So, can we complete at least some part, some idea? Can I get by taking your classes by next 2 weeks or 3 weeks?
Right. Right. Yes. So we will, as I already have informed, right? So we will, as of now, we are understanding about the basics of API, right? So
Hmm.
today we'll start working something with manual. So once
Okay,
that part is done, we'll start working with REST assured.
okay.
Yeah,
Rest. Yeah,
correct.
thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Any other question?
If you have any doubt, how could we reach out to you? Only on the
Um,
next sessions, or do you have any Telegram
yeah. So you can,
or
I
any
mean,
phone number?
you can approach our team, or I will request our team to create one Telegram group. Okay,
No.
so over that group we can discuss. All of us can discuss if we have any questions or any blockers anytime.
Okay. Actually, this is not, I think, a formal. Now I am going to ask one question. As I said, I am working in right.
Right,
Uh,
right.
yeah, automation. Uh, there is any possibility? Can we get any support for from the project? My real time working. Rest treasury only about rest treasury. Could you
Mm-hmm.
provide any support?
Yeah, we will discuss once
Yeah,
it's
that is
yeah.
sure. Thank you.
Okay.
If institute, we can talk elaborate, but this is yeah, call
Right,
that's why.
right. Yeah, let's
Yeah,
discuss. Okay.
thank you. Yeah.
All right. Let me share my screen, guys. All right. So in previous session we understood how do we create a JSON for simple data that we have. So from that example, we understood what are the tokens that we will be using to create a JSON. And then from the same example, we understood what are the different data types that JSON is supporting, right? So that part is done. And we also took some example, picked some example, sample data. For same data, we try to create a JSON object. We try to create an XML, right? Same thing, we try to create a HTML. Out of all these three, we understood JSON is very easy to write, easy to understand, easy to parse. It's very lightweight. So a lot of benefits or advantages that we have with JSON. So that is the reason why people is using JSON rather than using XML or HTML to transfer the data. Okay, so that's the conclusion that we made in the previous session. Now let's go ahead with in details of other basic concepts so that we can start working with the testing APIs. Okay, so we already discussed that. So if we look at the diagram, yeah. So if you look at the diagram, so what do we do? Uh, from Redbus application, we try to book a ticket or search the list of buses. So that list of bus will be taken from intercity application. Where does application get the data? From the database? So data goes to app. App will send the data back to API in the form of JSON. So whenever I write curly braces, it means that JSON object is being sent between this application to this application. So the same JSON will be sent back to Redbus. So Redbus will be populating on the browser or on the mobile app. So that is the process happens. That's the process will be happening, right, between any application. Okay, and one more advantage why we are going with JSON is JSON is not specific to any one particular language. That means Java application can create a JSON and send it. Same way, Ruby application can create and send it or consume. Python application also can support JSON. So that means JSON is not specific to one particular software language or application, right? So these are all the major advantages what we have with the JSON. And yes, to conclude, we are transferring the JSON, transferring the data in the form of JSON between multiple applications, right? So JSON is lightweight, easy to transfer the data. It's very speed. Yes, performance also. So if it is speed, obviously performance of the application will be high, right? And we already know it's a lightweight because easy to understand, easy to read, easy to write, and it's not dependent on any one particular language. So it's language independent. That is what the meaning of our conclusion for the JSON. Okay, so now let's get um, looking at some JSON path.
One
Okay.
small doubt in this.
Yes.
We conclude that it is a very lightweight and very speed.
Right.
Yeah, very readable. What about security? Which one is more security among these three languages?
So see, like whatever the case, even XML or HTML or the JSON, we
Mm-hmm.
are sending through protocol, which we will discuss in some time. So we'll come back.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now let's start working with something called as JSON path. JSON path. So what is JSON path? Let's say as a response, as a response of any request, we are getting this data. Just assume we are getting this JSON object. Okay. So I wanted to validate whether the first name, whatever I sent as a request is correct. So response again, just assume as part of response, we are getting this. So I wanted to validate the first name is correct or not. So what is the first name value? Lohansh. So I have to extract the value associated to the key, which is first name, right? That means with the help of this key, I can get the value. Okay. In the same way, I wanted to know whether the correct mobile number is there or not. So I have to get the value associated to key, which is mobile number, right? So for that, we have to use this, right? So we have to write a path. That means where is this? So let me do one thing. I'll copy this JSON, go to internet and then just type JSON where. So whenever you say JSON where, you can see a lot of JSON wheres available. Just pick this one, jsonwhere.stack.hu. Once we click on that, right, so we'll be navigated to a page. See, we have two tabs here, viewer and text. Paste your text here. Okay, then go to here. So this viewer will show your JSON text or JSON data, whatever the JSON content you have in the form of structure. That means hierarchy, right? Under this JSON object, we have level 1 data. Under level 1, we have first name, last name, age, contact numbers, address, is major country. So all this data is in level 1. There is a level 2 also. What is that? Contact numbers is an array. If I try to click on this plus, I can see level 2 contains again level 3 information, right? As this is an array, inside array we have one object. Inside that object, we have mobile number with some value. Again, at another value in array with index 1, we have one more data. Index 2, one more data. Okay, so we have three different datas here. Okay, three different datas. So it's a hierarchy. Under level 1, we have level 2 as a contact numbers. Under that again objects. Under that object again we have key value pairs. Let's say I wanted to know the second, whatever the second contact. So under contact numbers, three contact numbers I have. The contact number present at index 1, I need to get the value associated to that. So how can I do that? We have to create a JSON path. Okay. So to create a JSON path, again we have few more applications. So just search for JSON path evaluator. Just say JSON path evaluator online. So just search JSON path evaluator online. Okay. So if you search JSON path evaluator online, you can see JSONpath.com is a website. So just open that. If you go, this website will allow you to evaluate the JSON path that you have written is correct or not. This is one thing. And we also have one more application, which is JSON path finder online. Okay. See this one, JSON path finder. So if you open that, right. So here you can paste your JSON. Okay. Let me take my JSON from here. See this text. Let me copy. I copy the JSON text. I'll replace here. So once I replace my JSON, our JSON, see right side automatically it is showing whatever the JSON structure in the form of some fine-tuned version. Okay. So if I wanted to know the value associated to first name, then you click on this. Automatically it will tell this is the JSON path. You can copy this JSON path and use it wherever you want it. See, this finding JSON path is very important because as of now, we are trying to look at this JSON manually and identify. But later on, once we go to some other concepts using Postman or rest assured, we'll be using JSON path to extract the data in the JSON and validate it at runtime. So at that point of time, this JSON path is very critical. So I'm explaining now as a basic level. So X dot is not required, just first name means it will return the value associated to first name, right? So let us see. So what I will do is, let me copy this, go to JSON path evaluator, replace that with here. And now I will just take first name is the key and remove this, paste it. Whenever I say first name, in the results I see only Lohansh. Yes, that is what I need it, right? That is what I need. Okay. Let's say if I wanted to know the age, so what I will do instead of first name, I will pass age. So whenever I write, but dollar dot should be there because this site is depending on dollar and then dot. So whenever I say age, it is giving me the value 54. Okay. Let's say I wanted to get this array, complete array. Then this will be my key, right? I'm just giving the key. See, whenever I say key, contact numbers, I'm getting all the contact numbers in the right side. Okay. But there are multiple things, right, in this array. So contact numbers is an array. So just write square brackets, just say 0. Whenever we say 0, whatever the element or data present in 0th index of the contact numbers array, that value will be printed here. Okay, so instead of 0, if I make it 1, see the value or the object present at index 1 is printed. So if I say 2, then 2. If I say 3, nothing is there in index 3 of an array, so it's not showing anything in the evaluation result. Okay, so what I have to do, but as of now, we wanted to know this one, right? So let me pass 1. Whenever I say 1, I'm getting this. Okay, from that, again, I wanted to get the value associated to this alternate number. So dot alternate number. Whenever I say dot alternate number, I'm able to see only the value associated to alternate number, but not anything else. Okay, see, this is the JSON path. This is the JSON path to extract the alternate number, which is present in an array of an object. This is an array with index 1. So whatever the value object present at index 1, so we are going to that. From there, you are giving the key again. Right. So with the help of this JSON path, we should be able to extract whatever the value we have. See, or you can go here, click on this. This also generates a JSON path. So either you can use this. So initially you can use this while learning, but once you are little bit proficient, then you start using JSON path um, evaluator. Okay. So until then, use finder. Okay. Let's say if I wanted to know the address, just click on address, so it will give you the JSON. Okay. So, or you wanted to get the details of the value present at index 2. So, it is giving you the XPath for that index 2. So, I just copied. So, let me paste that over here. So, make sure X dot is not required. That's it. So, in this way, you can create a JSON path for whatever the JSON object that you are working with. Okay. So, this is a simple example, right? This is a simple example that we have. So now let's try to go ahead, take some example. Let's say I'll go to redbus.in. So we were discussing, right, about some application. Let's say Hyderabad to Bangalore. With the today's date, I'm searching buses, all the list of available bus. Now let's pick this bus. Okay, I wanted to view the seats. So right click, go and click on inspect. So once you click on inspect, you can see this tab is open. Go to network tab. Okay. After going to network tab, right, click on view seats button here. Okay. This button I click. Once I click, what happened? The request goes to server. So server will understand our request. It will send back the data in the form of JSON. That JSON will be consumed by this browser Redbus application, and it is populating the seat structure, like how many seats has been already filled, how many is still unfilled, unblocked, what is the fare of that seat, what are the boarding points, pickup points, all those details we will be getting. Okay, so let's see. So if I drag this little bit, you can see there are a lot of requests went to server. Okay, let me go to, yeah. So let me check from the beginning. Yep. So we see this request has a response, and this response is completely JSON. You can see this, right? So if you go to headers tab, okay, we can see what is the request that we sent, right? This is the request URL. So redbus.in search seat layout for which bus, some bus ID, date 17th May 2024. Okay, and some more data we are sending. Country, India. From city, 124. To city, 122. So some set of filter parameters we are sending. So we get a response. So let me take this response. I'm copying this response from here. Now let's put that response into this JSON viewer. Go to viewer, see this contains lot of data, right? So what does this data contain? So this data contains boarding point information of that particular bus. See, like for any bus, we have a lot of boarding points, right? Like where we can take the bus. See, these are the different boarding points. See, there are around 12 boarding points available in the Hyderabad, because starting point is Hyderabad. In the same way, if you go down, DP information, that means dropping points. So dropping is Bangalore. So Bangalore, Yelahanka is one of the location. Address. So all of these are like dropping points. Okay. In the same way, if you go a little bit down, you have seat list. So whatever the seats that we see here, right, with color codings and all, the same seat list will be over here, displayed over here. See, what is the seat height is available? Is it a ladies seat or it's a normal? Okay, and they're providing all such kind of details, seat layout. Okay, because maybe people want to know. And for every seat, there is a fare 2793. So 2793 rupees is the fare. See, here we should be able to see that value over here. Okay, so if you select any seat, we are able to see right on the UI INR 2902. So we should be able to see 2902 as one of the fare over here. If you go to fares 2540, and for so every seat has a different fare 2286, right? So we should be able to see that value over here somewhere, right? So if I mouse over 2660, right? So every seat has a different fare, right? So whatever the data we see on the UI, we get it through the JSON. And see how big the JSON is. So it contains a lot of information, right? So let's take this, start using this. So whenever we wanted to practice, we have to practice JSON path. Just take some huge data like this. See, like we have lots of data. See, as soon as we write it here, we can see that. What happened? Let me refresh it. Yep. See, as soon as I paste my JSON, I can see right side there are a lot of information. Boarding points. See, every boarding point has a name, LB Nagar, time, what is the address, who is the contact number for that particular bus. Okay. So latitude, longitude of the bus, I mean that particular boarding point. So like that, lot of huge data we have. Okay. So now let's try an XPath to find the boarding point information, and let's say the name of the boarding point. Okay. See, whenever I click Mehdipatnam is one of the boarding point name in Hyderabad. See, once I click, automatically the JSON path is created. So this JSON path we will be using to extract the value whenever we get a response from the server dynamically. Okay. So just try pick any some of these examples like this. Try to pick that JSON. Use JSON path where to understand the structure. See, this JSON has multiple structures. This complete data is in level 1. If you go to boarding points info, this is level 1, right? This is level 2. This is an object in level 2. Under that again we have some data points. Maybe sometimes under this level 2 or 3 also we might have more arrays or more objects also. In that case, we have to keep drilling down till whatever the level of data that we need. Okay. So this is what the JSON path means. So JSON path will be using to extract the data from the JSON. Okay. Is it clear? Any questions from anybody?
I'm good, bro. I'm good.
Okay. Great.
From my side also, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. Yep. So yes, now we understood about the JSON path. So let's move on to the next basic concepts. Okay. So coming back to this diagram. So we understood whenever we send a request, we get a response from different application in the form of JSON. But how? Who is taking that data or JSON from one application to another application? Any idea who is transferring the data from one application to another application?
Protocol.
So protocol, yeah.
Protocol, right? Yes. So protocol is the way which can transfer the data between one application to another application over a network, right? So let us see, let's understand about that some basic concepts. Okay, so before we go for protocol, first of all, let's understand what is URL. So just now we saw, right, as part of this example, right, as part of this example, we understood, if you go to headers, we have request URL. What does this request URL means? We are requesting server to provide the details about this particular bus seat layout, right? That's what it means. So whenever we request, okay, I have to clearly tell what I need, what kind of product or what kind of details I need. See, if I don't tell, obviously server cannot help, or even people also cannot help, right? Let's say I call somebody and I wanted to do some phone call ordering or online ordering. So then I should specify what product I need, what configuration of a product, what is the price range. A lot of things will matter, right? So I have to provide all that details. So as part of request URL, see, we are seeing lot of things. Okay, see till here, search a seat layout. This should be definitely a bus ID, and we should tell for what date. Okay, then we have given like country, because Redbus application or Redbus is running for different countries, not only in India, right? Then city, which city to which city, like we have to travel. So lot of filter parameters that we are giving, or query parameters we can say. Okay, but let's understand more detail about this URL. So URL contains lot of things. Okay, so let's say if I take at least this, right? So what do we have? What is this? First thing, before colon, we have something called HTTPS, right? So what is this HTTPS?
That's the protocol name.
Secure protocol.
Transfer protocol.
Right. So HTTPS is a protocol, as we were discussing. This is the place how the data is transferred between the applications or through the protocol. Okay. There are many protocols available, right? There are many protocols available. Among them, HTTP or HTTPS is one of the protocol which we will be using to transfer the data, okay, in the form of REST API, REST, which internally is nothing but a JSON, right? So let's look at some set of protocols. So like what are the different protocols that we have, right? So we have some set of protocols, like let's get started with HTTP, HTTPS, SMTP, FTP, POP3, SSL. So like that, we have many protocols. Let's start working with what is HTTP, HTTPS, right? So let me show you some diagram. So if you go HTTP protocol. So if I go to images, right? So we can see a lot of images. HTTP protocol. Yep. So you can see this diagram, right? So client means, let's say, our laptop. Server will be hosted somewhere. So we send a request, we get a response through a protocol. So that's a way where request and response is sent between one system to another system, right? It's just a protocol. Okay, so let me write about HTTPS protocol. HTTPS is also similar to HTTP, but it is secured, right? So secured means whatever the data that you are sending from client to server or server to client, the data is secure. That means it is encrypted basically. So that's why we call it as HTTPS. Just the difference is HTTP means it's a protocol, right? So where HTTP stands for, what is HTTP means?
Hypertext transfer protocol.
Right. So as we know, this is a protocol, and HTTP stands for hypertext transfer protocol, right? Hypertext transfer protocol. Okay, this is also same, but only the difference is it's secure. Hypertext transfer protocol secured, right? So what does secured means? It's as I said, it will be encrypted. So data will be encrypted, then it will be sent again. The client or server will be decrypting the data and then using it. So what is this encrypting, decrypting means, or secured means at least? So do you guys know about the postcard? Let's say, let me show you. See, whenever you say postcard, so anybody knows about this? At least like you might have seen, even though you did not write it.
Yeah,
Correct.
so this is basically used to send some message. You can write it and you can
Right. So like nowadays we have mobile, a lot of
paper.
technology has been improved, grown. So we can just text something and immediately it will be available for the people. They can view it. But previously, when we don't have mobiles and all these applications, much internet usage, people used to write the text or whatever the message that they wanted to convey, write it on this card and send it to the receiver. But if you look at this, see, both the side it is open. That means anybody can read whatever the content present in the card. That means it's not secured. So we cannot write anything which is high secured kind of content, right? So it's something like a HTTP, I can say. Okay, and we also have something called inland letter. Okay, inland letter. See, I hope you know this also, right? So this is another kind of letter or post. We can write our content and we can close it. See, you can see right this diagram, whatever I'm highlighting, image. See the content they have written backside of this, and they can close it and send it in the form of card like this. So that means whatever that content we have written inside this post or letter, nobody can view it. Like postman or anybody cannot view this. So that means that content is more secure, right? So same way, HTTP means it's secure. HTTP S means it's secure but not HTTP. Okay. So same way we have something called SMTP. So let me tell you what is show you SMTP. See, whenever you say SMTP, you can see SMTP is again a protocol, right? Which is used to, yeah. So SMTP is a protocol which is used to send and receive emails, right? Emails between multiple systems or application. Only emails, but not anything else. Okay. So SMTP stands for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, right? That is what the meaning of SMTP. Okay, then we have something called FTP. Okay, let's see FTP, right? So FTP is also another protocol which is used to transfer only the files. No email, no other type of data, no other content. If your intention is only to transfer the files, yes, we can use FTP. So if you go to images, you can see there are a lot of images related to FTP, right? See your, let's say, client and then server, you can send the files, you can receive the files through this protocol, which we call it as FTP, right? FTP stands for File Transfer protocol. Okay. Then we have something called POP3. POP3 is also a protocol, right? So through POP3 again, it's also a mail. If you wanted to send or receive an email, so we have SMTP and also POP3. But POP3 is older version of you know sending or receiving an email. But nowadays, mostly people use SMTP only rather than using POP3. POP3 means Post Office Protocol. Okay. All right. So that's about POP3. And then the last one is SSL, right? SSL means Secured Socket Layer. So this is a layer which allows user to send or receive the data, but in encrypted fashion. Same as like HTTPS. Right? HTTPS means it supports only the JSON or REST API, right? But here SSL support any other kind of connection or transferring the data, right? So, but this is also secured. So SSL means secured socket layer, secured socket layer. This is another protocol. So totally we have multiple protocols, but out of this, we will depend or we will mostly work with HTTP and HTTPS. So whenever we start doing API testing, most of our calls or our APIs will be HTTPS only because yes, everybody wants a secured layer, secured way of transferring the data. But sometimes whenever we start working with some sample applications, it might be HTTP because they are demo applications. But in our companies, every endpoint or every request will be going through HTTPS only. Okay. So now we understood what is HTTPS mean, right? HTTPS is nothing but, right? It's nothing but a protocol, right? So let's conclude here. Protocol. So HTTPS is nothing but a protocol. Then what is this www.redbus.in? What is this redbus.in?
This is the URL.
URL, yes, this completely we call it as URL, but this is a domain.
It's the
So,
name of the server
right,
domain.
name of the server, or we can also call it as a domain. So internally, redbus.in will be mapped to some IP address. So we know, right? We know about IP address. So every nation or every system will be having an IP address. So this domain will be mapped to that IP address so that whenever we say redbus.in, the request goes to that IP, the server which is running in that particular IP in the backend. Okay. So protocol plus domain. So this is a domain, right? Then next to domain, we see something like search/seat layout. This is nothing but a resource or endpoint. Resource or endpoint. That means under Redbus, we have a lot of functionality. This is only one of the functionality where we are searching a seat. So if I go back to the application, Redbus, yeah, if I click on help, what happened? Whenever I click on help, what happens? It is navigated to info/redcare. See, let me copy this URL, paste that here. See, till here, this is same, this is same. But here, I'm navigating to a one particular resource or endpoint which gives me the information related to searching a layout of a seat. But this is something related to info/redcare, right? I wanted to get some help or info. So if I write this as part of URL, then I will get the data related to info. Whenever I write, then I will get some seat layout. In the same way, if I click on, let's say, train tickets, what happened? Again, it's navigated to some another resource/railways, right? In the same way, if I go to something else, let's say bus tickets means it's a home page. Let me go bit down. See, there are a lot of links here. So if I click on about us, what happened? So it is giving the details of that particular red bus. So what happens if you try to compare all these URL? The domain is same, protocol is same. Only the thing is changing is resource or endpoint. This is an endpoint which gives some data. This is another endpoint which gives some another data. This is another endpoint which gives something else data. Info slash about us, info slash red care. The same way, if you keep going down and click, let's say, contact us, what happened? See, it's giving some another info slash contact us. So all of these are like different endpoints or resources which has some different data. So the URL is nothing but a combination of protocol, domain, and resource or endpoint. Okay, now we know that the application is running with this domain name as a front end. As I said, see, the name of the application or domain is Redbus because it's simple or easy to remember. But whenever we say, like as I said, this Redbus will be internally running in some IP, some server. That server will be having some unique IP, right? So maybe that IP may be something like 12423, some number like this. So that means instead of this domain, there will be IP like this. So can end user remember this IP? No, obviously, right? So instead of that, redbus.in means anybody can understand or anybody can remember, but this number cannot be remembered by everybody. So that's the reason they are using domain instead of IP. And within this server, there will be lot of applications, not only this Redbus application. To support this Redbus, there will be few more services, software services will be executing or running, right? For example, if I go to the task manager of my system, right? See, these are all the different applications running. See, Zoom is running, some desktop window manager, Chrome browser is running, right? Photos, lot of applications are running in my machine, right? So it doesn't mean that whenever I'm taking a class, I'm using only Notepad, only Zoom. But in the background, there are a lot of applications are running or working. Okay, see, we can see a lot of applications status. And every of these application, even same way, in our Redbus server, there will be a lot of applications will be running. Every application that it runs will be having some unique port. So that port could be something like this, colon 8080. Right? That means redbus.in colon 8080 I can write. What does this mean? See, www.redbus.in is nothing but this IP address. In that server, lot of applications are running. Every application will be depending or using an port number internally. So this is a port number. Okay. So for example, this application is running on this port. So port number is nothing but a unique number where the application is running over there. It's something like a door number for our flat in an apartment. So apartment means obviously we have many houses. Out of that many houses, okay, we should have a unique number to identify one particular house or one particular flat. So can door numbers repeat in any apartment usually? No,
No,
right?
it should not
Door
be.
number will not be repeated because if it repeats, obviously people cannot identify the house. So there should be some uniqueness. So same way, port numbers also will not repeat. One application will be having one port number and that port number will be using. Okay, so to conclude, so URL is nothing but a protocol plus domain plus port number plus resource or endpoint. So this is what the meaning of URL. So we saw, right? So we just saw this is a URL. So till here only we understood till resource or endpoint. But after that we are giving some query parameters or filter, because there are a lot of buses that red bus has. But out of that many buses, which bus seat layout you wanted to see, you have to provide that bus ID, from, to, date, city, all the details you can send. Then only the server will give you the proper data. Okay, so this part, so remaining part will come back later, but at least try to understand what is a URL. So URL contains a lot of things. So to conclude, URL is nothing but protocol, domain, port number, and resource or endpoint. So this is what the meaning of the URL. Okay, so any questions till now?
Yeah, so Lohansh, we got all these points. So I have one question regarding this JSON array. So are you
Jackson array, JSON array,
JSON array? Yeah.
JSON
So
array, right?
correct.
Mm.
So let's say I have one JSON array employee and the first name, last name, these are the two fields. And I can understand, means if you are writing like employee 0 dot first name there, then I will get the first name. So let's say in my array, let's say there are uh, there are like five sections. Okay, I want to retrieve only the first name from all the parts.
Mm-hmm.
So how can I do that?
Yeah, same. Like you can write a JSON path, right? So see if we take this. So whatever you said, it's very similar. So you have to get only the first name of all the employees. Correct.
Correct. Yeah.
So what is the JSON path that you write for at least for anyone? So
So
we
it
will
will
write
like employee
employee.
bracket.
It's an array.
Mhm.
So we will go to 0 initially dot first name, right? For example,
Correct.
this is the JSON path to, sorry, this is the JSON path to extract the first name of element employee info present at 0th index.
Correct.
But you have to repeat it for 5 objects. Okay.
Correct.
So at code level, what you do, instead of 0, you take a for loop. Okay, start with some variable and use that variable here. Go through every object, then extract the data, store the data in some collection. Then you can go ahead with your validation.
So we
Okay.
have to take a for loop here and iterate.
Correct. Yes. So because that's the way, right? We have to go to each and every element and then get the first name. So instead of 0, then it will become 1. Instead of 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4. So it will keep going how many ever the objects that you have.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. All right. So any other questions?
Lohan, do we make notes or do you provide it?
Yes, all these notes will be uploading to the Google Drive, and that link will be shared to you guys once you guys register.
Oh,
And
yeah, but
also these recordings, all of these recordings will be provided to you.
okay.
Yep. Okay. Any other question before we move on?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Right. All right. So now we understood about the basics of URL, protocol, domain, port number, resource. What does it means? So now we know what is a JSON, what is a protocol that we are using, how the data will be transferring between multiple applications. So all these basic concepts that we understood. So let's start working with some example. So if you go to Google, just say Booker Hirafu app. Okay. So here you see the link, welcome to RESTful Booker. Click on that link. So once you click, see this is a sample application. We will use this sample application to understand the basics of APIs, CRUD operation, all that details, we can easily practically work with this, right? So this is nothing but an application, sample application. So if you go and click detailed API documentation, they have given the documentation of the APIs. So we can use these sample APIs to learn or practice both manual and also automation. And then we'll go with other examples. So let's wait, it may take few seconds. So this application has all the type of operations like CRUD operations. We'll use it. And one more thing, what you have to do, we have to install Postman. So we understood from this diagram, Redbus will send a request to API, then it goes to backend application or server. So server will again send back the response in the form of JSON, and that JSON will be again received to browser, and browser will take the data and populate. Okay, but here, as I said, in API testing, we will not have any browser. So no browser. So for understanding purpose, we looked at Redbus, but in real time, whenever we test any API, we don't have any browser because the application might not be integrated to the browser by that time whenever we get APIs for our testing. So how do we send a request to the server? How do you get the response? To do all that stuff, right? Basically, we are going to work with some tool called Postman, right? So Postman, just search for Postman, right? So you can see there are multiple links in the Google. Just go to the first option, or you can directly click on download Postman. See, once you click on download Postman, we are navigated to a page where it is showing a link or button to download, and it automatically recognizes what version of OS you are using, like Windows or Mac or Linux or whatever it's. Okay, accordingly, it is suggesting click on this button. So once it clicks, it starts downloading, right? So it's loading. Once it completes, see, it is started downloading. So I'm stopping it because I have already downloaded it and installed it. Okay, so you guys wait until this is completely downloaded. Once it is done, double click on this exe file if you are using Windows. If anybody of you are using Mac, it will be .dmz. Double click on that. So it will install it. So install this Postman. It might take another couple of minutes to install. Install it. Don't change any default configuration. Just keep next, next, next. That's it. So Postman will be installed. Once the installation is done, once you open, see, I have already installed, right? So I'm opening Postman. So searching Postman on my Windows. So it is already showing Postman icon logo. That means it's already been installed. So let me open. So once I open, it will be open. For first time, when you open Postman, it will ask you to register for Postman. So just register with your email ID, then log in with your email ID so that you can see. So this is how the Postman looks like. Okay. So there are a lot of things are there in Postman, which we will cover or understand in the next session. Okay. All right. So please do that. And then we'll start working with this RESTful Booker application. So it contains all the different CRUD operations. I will also explain you what is the meaning of CRUD, and then we'll start working with this example. Okay. All right. Any questions before we close?
We are good. Lohansh, thanks a lot for your time. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you, Lord.
Thank you.